Hi, I'm Daphne Marinopoulos, and I am the founder and owner of the Fibre company. We produce and market hand knitting yarns to the craft industry. Well, I signed up for that breakfast meeting based on the title of the talk and looking up, who you were and what you offered, and said to myself that I really needed to get more strategic. I needed a framework for our marketing and branding, and it looked like I would get some ideas by going to that talk. So then when I was at the talk and you started talking about being brave, one of the reasons I'd wanted to go to that workshop was that I was looking for validation and of some of the ideas that I'd had that I wanted to try that are really new directions for the business that I was a bit fearful about doing. And then you talked about being brave, and I was like, all right, this is where I need to be. I need to be with someone who's going to talk to me about bravery. Yeah, well, being a small business, there's a limit to how much you can spend, but then you need so much and your resources are limited and your time is limited. So for me it was, okay, what am I going to get for the cost of this workshop? And then will I have the time to put into it? Because I've done so many things where I haven't really, I've invested, but then I haven't had the time to follow through. So it was a couple of things that allowed me to get over that. It was a monthly approach, and so I figured in between those sessions I would really be able to do it. I felt like it either needed to be an entire week where it was immersive, or something like it has been, which is once a month, and I felt like I could do that. And so from a time perspective I was okay with that, and then a cost perspective, just everything that was on the agenda was what I knew I needed to have some time to think about. Yeah, well, I think the first few sessions were some of the hardest because they were the ones you really had to dig deep and say, well, how can I move forward if I haven't answered some of these questions about who we are and our approach and who our customer is, and really getting clear about things and committing to being clear, and not just trying to be all things to everyone and say, well, here we are. So it was hard. The early sessions were hard, but it took a lot of time to work through some of those things, but it was well worth doing. And it has helped me focus. What we're doing we're quite a seasonal approach to our planning, 18 months in advance for our product line, and it really did help me focus on who it was I was trying to reach, so that it made almost a little bit easier to narrow the brief for our future seasons. Throughout the program, the initial sessions were really difficult and soul-searching and deep. And then throughout the 6 months, there was this bit of overwhelm, and really there still is. But I think what I did was I drew a conclusion that I was in this for the long term. So it's the first time I've really allowed myself to believe that this is a long-term game, and it's not something that I'm just going to solve overnight. So the most empowering thing about having gone through the program is I feel like I have a framework now that I'm really willing to commit to. It's not just another idea or marketing idea or something to think about or a quick fix. It's really a framework for how to view what it is we do, who we're trying to reach, how much we need to spend to acquire those customers, and a framework to kind of navigate things as they will undoubtedly change and go through this iteration over time. So yeah, I'm very hopeful that I've got a framework that I can live in and stay with, because it just has made sense to me. I would say to anybody considering this, in particular if you're like me and that you're at the head of the ship trying to make things happen, and that when you're in the office or on the job you always feel like you are being pulled in so many different directions and you never have time to think, and when you do have time to think, it's when you'd rather maybe be doing something else like sleeping or eating or relaxing, that this is at the very least a chance to get away for a day and immerse yourself in the most important issues of your business. And if you just do it for that reason, you'll benefit. And then if you can see yourself with the ability to take what you learn and carry it forward and bring it back to your team, then it'll be that much more productive use of your time and budget.